Hello and welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Katie Aloy Knight, your guide for this enlightening journey. Stay with us as we share features that educate, inspire, and move you to action.
The following is brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
I appeal to the young man and the young woman on the corner who is wanting a job but don't know where a job is, or may have gone for a job interview and was not successful, and then leaves with the opinion that there is no space for me in this growing economy. I need you. Your country needs you. Your economy needs you. The Caymanas Special Economic Zone needs you. You are a critical element in the growth of this country. And this administration, through the Heart Trust NSTA, we will find you, we will support you, we will assist you in getting trained and getting employed so that you can claim your share in the prosperity that Jamaica is experiencing.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
We are still in the time of year when hurricanes are most likely to occur. Yes, this is your reminder that the Atlantic hurricane season continues until the end of November. Here's also your reminder that it can be a scary time for the little ones, especially those who have never experienced one before. Up next, we will explore how parents can help their children feel safe before and during a hurricane.
What am I? Cat!
Yes, okay, it's my turn, What am I? Food? Is it a fruit? Apple?
Your turn. What am I? Goat? Cow? Yes. Hey guys, it seems like a hurricane is coming. What are we going to do? We need to be prepared. What are we going to do?
Don't worry, Lisa. We got this covered. Lisa. Don't worry.
What are we going to do? Everything will be okay.
Lisa, we got this covered. Don't worry.
Everything will be okay. All right? Okay, Joshua? Okay.
We are in the hurricane season, and it's important to be prepared for anything that can happen. A big part of that is having conversations with your children about the hurricane season and what to expect. Counseling psychologist Jody Lee is here to walk us through the process.
We start with the definition of what the hurricane is. Then you go into what are some of the features of a hurricane, what are some of the things that you might experience during a hurricane. So flooding, depending on where you are, consistent rain, heavy downpours, lightning, thunder, and you get from them how they would feel about those things. Try to reassure them that we are handling the situation, and so by handling it means we have a family safety plan. So having a family safety plan would look like knowing the extent of preparation you need to do. So if you need to fix some things on your house, or if we need to get materials to batten down windows, check that roofs are okay, not leaking, find a particular area in the house that would be a safe zone. So finding things that we will need to put into a safety plan. So, the basics, water, canned food, making sure that our documents are sealed. So you would go through that entire process with them. and you involve them as much as possible. But what we want them to know is okay if you are worried, but there are things that we can do to make sure that you are safe. And so, one of those is to make sure that we are tuning into the radio and listening to the broadcast from reputable news sources. But with that also, you need to be careful as to how much you allow them to get that information. So it's important to maybe filter the information through yourself first. So you listen, you limit their access to it, and then you give them the information that they need in the moment, rather than them having access to all of this information, and it might feel like a little bit too much, a little too big, and they get overwhelmed. In preparation for a hurricane, you say to them, your devices might not work, and we might have to be preserving batteries, so we're going to go old school and we're going to play some games, or we're going to find little scavenger hunts around the house, but find things to make it interesting for them, find ways to help them to distract, but not just be distracted, but also to be connected to you so that they have that sense of security. The other thing to recognize with children, particularly the younger ones, is that their anxiety might come out through repetition. Try not to be irritated. Try not to think, all right, they're not listening and they're not paying attention. This is them trying to get security for themselves. This is them trying to make sure that the answer doesn't change, so that means things are going to be okay.
It is also important to have all your emergency numbers of government agencies, families, and friends that you can reach out to. It's best to place these at a position where the entire family is able to see them, or have the numbers on speed dial so you can make contact easily.
According to the Jamaica Public Service Company, the average cost of electricity is $65 per kilowatt hour. Let's talk cooling. If you use a 12,000 BTU inverter air conditioning unit for 6 hours a day, you'll rack up 184 kilowatt hours by month's end. That's roughly $11,960 on your electricity bill. Now, if you're using a non-inverter unit for the same amount of time, you're looking at 214 kilowatt hours. That's about $13,910. Want to save money? Here's your energy tip. Use an inverter AC unit and use it less often. Cool smarter, not costlier.
Efficiency meets innovation. Jamaica's new digital motor vehicle fitness process promises a smoother, faster, and more accessible system for drivers. Up next, we'll explore how this digital transformation is making a familiar procedure simpler for all Jamaicans.
Things have changed when it comes to motor vehicle fitness and registration. It's all gone digital. No more paper, no more decal. And we're here to help you navigate this new process. Let's focus on the fitness process. First up, you need to purchase your fitness fee. This can be done online at jamaicatax.gov.jm or in person at the tax office cashier. Next step is a visit to the Island Traffic Authority.
You will need to come to our service hub and you should present to the examiner your proof of payment for the certificate of fitness fee. Once you have presented that, a representative of the Island Traffic Authority will give you a registration form on which you'll be asked to place your email address and the chassis number of the vehicle. Now, even though you would have placed the chassis number on that form, it's a very small form, our examiner will ensure that they make a check with the vehicle to see that the chassis number that you have placed on that registration form is indeed accurate. We check for your brakes, we check your lights, we check your horn, your exhaust system, we check for your tires, and we check for the level of tint that you have on your vehicle, your steering wheel, and the integrity of your front end, among other things. So soon as that is finished, the examiner will determine a pass or failure of your vehicle. The necessary data entry will be made in our system, and at the end of that process, a reference number will be sent to your email, the email that you would have issued to us. When that number comes up on your email, you will then be required, and we have made it convenient to you. We have a QR code that you can scan, and it will take you to the certificate generation and distribution system portal. You would be required to put that unique number plus your chassis number, and you generate the e-fitness which will come on your device. You're encouraged to ensure that you check the details on the e-certificate before departing the service hub.
If you don't have a smartphone or any device to access your email, a representative of the Island Traffic Authority will assist you with a device.
And if you do not have an email, we have a generic email for the Island Traffic Authority that you can utilize to generate your e-fitness for check-in.
Let's say your vehicle didn't meet the standard and it failed the inspection.
The examiner will annotate the defects that you would need to treat with, and you are encouraged to retain your certificate of fitness fee, the receipt that you have, so that when you do the repairs and come back, you don't have to pay another fee. This is a one-time situation for you, so on the first instance, if you fail and you maintain your receipt, then upon your remedying the faults, then we will go ahead, do the check, and if you pass at that time, an e-certificate will be issued to you.
Now let's talk validity. That is how long your certificate lasts before your next inspection.
For a new vehicle that is being registered for the first time in Jamaica, you will be given a certificate of fitness for 5 years. For vehicles that are used and are 10 years and younger, you will get a certificate of fitness issued to you for 3 years. Vehicles over 10 years will get a certificate of fitness for 1 year. For commercial and PPV vehicles, new vehicles that are bought and again registered for the first time in Jamaica for commercial purpose, a new vehicle will get 3 years, and a vehicle that is being registered that is under 10 years or less will have a certificate of fitness validity period of 1 year. Now, please note that if for some unfortunate reason a new vehicle has a crash and there is significant structural damage, upon inspection by the examiner at the Island Traffic Authority Service Hub, a determination is made as to the extent of the damage and the validity period for the certificate of fitness, because you would recognize that the integrity of that vehicle would have been affected, and therefore there is a greater need for more frequent inspection of that vehicle.
So remember, the fitness process has gone digital, but support is always available. Visit the Island Traffic Authority's website at mtm.gov.jm/ITA.
Did you know that all employees are entitled to paid public holidays? Yes, under the Holidays with Pay order, enforced by the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, there are 4 categories of paid benefits: holidays with pay, sick leave with pay, gratuity, and sick leave benefit. And do you want to know who is entitled? Me and any employee except casual workers who have worked at least 110 days per year with the same employer. Also, if you work between 110 and 220 days, you earn 1 day of leave for every 22 days worked. Employees who work more than 220 days in a year are entitled to 2 weeks of vacation leave. And if you've been with the same employer for more than 10 years and have worked over 220 days in the year, you qualify for 3 weeks of vacation leave. So, know your rights and take your rest.
School is back in session, and while the excitement of September morning has come and gone, one issue demands our continued attention: bullying. Stopping it begins with understanding what it is and the impact it has.
Bullying can affect anyone, but some individuals may be more vulnerable to becoming victims. Its long-term effects can be devastating, leaving emotional scars that impact mental and physical health.
All right, so ladies,
in this feature, Winsome Heron-Ferron, a senior lecturer and a member of the Behavioral Sciences Department at Michael University College, offers an in-depth perspective on bullying, its causes, signs, and consequences. Before we get started, here's a clear working definition to consider. Bullying is a psychological mechanism involving power imbalance and aggression where individuals or groups target others to assert control or cause harm in social contexts.
I must just emphasize that bullying has to do with power and aggression. The fact that it is social, it means that every sphere of our interaction with others, our primary socialization at home. Can we start it there? So it begins in our interaction with those in our immediate spaces, our families, how we are treated by parents, by siblings. So a person may develop a sense of being bullied or being a bully from their own interaction in those primary spaces. So, and it is also fostered and maintained through our interaction then at school. So when you go to school, there are others who might be like your parents, teachers, like your siblings, other classmates, who would then, perpetuate this kind of behavior. It is not limited to class. It has to do with your interaction. So parents who are of the upper class, they can be insensitive to their child's needs. And because they're insensitive to their child's needs, the child may develop a sense that, I am not really valued. It can happen in the lower class. A parent may not have the means, but they're also insensitive to the child's needs. And so that child will either seek to have that need satisfied in another way, or they will look to others to satisfy such a need. We can have bullying physically, in terms of hitting, biting, spitting, shoving, that kind of stuff. We can also have one of significant concern now, and that is cyberbullying. So this is where we send messages and we share images and we share information in the electronic space that is harmful, and it's targeted at a particular individual. In a school setting where we socially isolate others. We don't want to be their friends. They don't want to talk to them. They leave them out of things. That is also a form of bullying. So it's intentionally causing harm or hurt to someone else.
It's important to note that both bullies and victims display distinct behaviors. Bullies tend to be confident, assertive, and socially popular, often displaying leadership qualities.
They're also emotionally advanced because they understand their own emotions. They do. And so when it comes to the perpetrator, they are usually confident. They are usually the kinds of people who believe that, I can do this, and they're also very aggressive. On the part of the victim, however, we can see where the victims tend to be less vocal. They tend to be more reserved. They tend to also display esteem challenges. So their sense of self in terms of valuing self, they may have lower self-esteem than others. They may also be behave in a way that says that they're not assertive, so they are easily led.
But here's the debilitating phenomenon. The effects of bullying can last long beyond school years. For perpetrators, untreated aggression can lead to difficulties in adulthood, especially in the workplace. Similarly, victims may carry emotional scars into their professional lives.
On the part of the perpetrator, that if they are not treated, if they don't get the help with it, they are going to become adults who are aggressive and power-seeking. And some of them, they may not get jobs. Or if they get jobs, they're not going to last very long in it because they're going to carry that same drive for power and that aggressive running over everybody attitude into the workplace. On the part of the victims, again, it is detrimental because the long-term effect of it is you become so docile and so reserved that you don't use your initiative. You don't have a sense of, I can do this in the workplace. And every workplace needs persons who are able to use their initiative and to grow the business. So if you're coming into the space as a victim and you carry that persona with you, then again, you're not going to have a job for long. Or if you have a job, you're not going to be effective in your role.
In addition, some victims may later become perpetrators, using aggression to regain a sense of power. These individuals are known as bully victims.
They were the victims of bullying. And what do? They turn around and they bully others. So out of their own sense of failure as an individual, so to speak, they then try to assert this kind of power and aggression towards others. And then we now have this group of bully victims.
How do we break the cycle?
We would want for them to become assertive, to stand up and say, no, I have a right. No, I am not going to do this. So we want them to become more assertive. We do not want them to become aggressive.
Here's the truth. Bullying is a complex issue shaped by personal and societal factors. If you've been bullied, it doesn't define you. Seek support from trusted individuals or professionals to heal. As we conclude this chapter, it's important to emphasize that fostering assertiveness and promoting healthy interactions can help schools and families reduce bullying and its long-term effects.
Nutritious food, succulent dishes, superior workmanship, and excellent service. Jamaica is on the go. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Let's harness the indomitable spirit of our most valued resource, our people. Let's support our local businesses. After all, buying Jamaican means building Jamaica.
The following is brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
We estimate that there are about 20 to 25,000 who are unemployed because they do not have any skill. They are a loss to our economy. And we have tasked hard to find these 25,000. Go out into the communities, put on your training fairs, have specific agents out there doing your reconnaissance and surveillance and finding these youngsters. Get them into your training program. Offer them stipends and bus fare and lunch money. But more than that, what they need mentoring. Because oftentimes they simply do not know about the opportunities that exist. They exist on the periphery of the system and they are skeptical of the system and they don't believe that the system is set up for them. Your country needs you.
Be smart. Choose hard.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
According to the Jamaica Public Service Company, the average cost of electricity is $65 per kilowatt hour. A refrigerator is essential in every household, but what's the cost of keeping it plugged in all day? For a 15 to 18 cubic foot inverter refrigerator running 24 hours a day, that's 64 kilowatt hours per month, which adds up to $3,900 on your light bill. Now, compare that to a regular 18 cubic foot refrigerator, it consumes about 86 kilowatt hours, costing you $5,590 monthly. Got a bigger fridge? A 26 cubic foot inverter model uses up to 108 kilowatt hours, costing $7,020 each month just to keep it cool. Just a tip, always check the energy rating before you buy. Inverter models save more in the long run.
As we wrap up today's edition of Jamaica Magazine, we hope you found these features informative and engaging. Let's stay connected through our website, jis.gov.jm, and on social media. On behalf of the production team, I'm Katie Aloy Knight. Have a great weekend.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.